Hello, welcome to Mama Huddle. I'm Renee, pre and postnatal and women's health personal trainer, and it is really nice to have you here today. Happy International Women's Day. We are talking about trusting ourselves, and I think this is something we are just taught not to do as we grow up, really, by lots of ways. And I think also, given the internet, we tend to outsource our knowing a bit as well, which isn't helpful because we end up living in a life that doesn't align with us. And maybe that feels a bit overwhelming. um, And it stops us from seeking answers when we need them, and it stops us from putting our hand up when we need to, and it stops us from standing in spaces that we belong, and it stops us from really owning our intelligence. So there's lots to this. And how I thought we could talk through this today very briefly is, if you're not sure how to start to trust yourself, if it feels like it's outside of you, then this is actually an activity we use during our sessions that I thought I'd share with you. And that is our check-in, our morning check-in, which happens at the start of every session. And that is a process of considering, and you can close your eyes, put your hand on your chest, how we are feeling for that day, how we're showing up, and what's going on around us, and how that is impacting us in that moment. And so what we consider is things like, have we eaten enough food? Have we drank some water? What was our sleep like? What's our stress levels like? Are we feeling comfortable and confident in what's going on today for whatever reason? Are we feeling overwhelmed? Or are we feeling amazing and we're full of energy and we're ready to go? And just this process of coming home to ourselves and really understanding where we are at on a particular day is how we can start the process of trusting ourselves in small ways. And so once we do this practice at the start of our sessions, we rate how we're feeling from a 1 to a 5, 5 being amazing, 1 being terrible or not so great. And so within that space, wherever you land, you have an indicator of what you might choose to do in that session, how hard you might go, how you might show up, what exercises you might choose, or what options you might take instead. And anything within those ranges, that is your choice to make. So I will facilitate a space, I will provide all the options, but in this moment, you get to choose if this is a day for you to go full out, work out really hard, do all the reps and all the sets and whatever intensity you want, or if this is a day where you're showing up to simply move your body or simply have a chat with other mums. And I think this is so important that we, if you think about the fitness space, how often do we show up and there might be a coach there or a group of people that you're working out with, and you have to go hard the whole time. There's no consideration of where you are at on a particular day. And as mums, these things what's going on for us can change. We might have every intention that tomorrow is going to be the best workout that we've ever done, and we don't sleep overnight, or we get our period, or we have some kind of pain or stress or whatever it might be. And yet we might feel like we have to show up to a workout and still put all those things aside and work out in a way that is hard and fast and brutal and is at the end of the day not going to be helpful for us anyway. And so this simple act of checking in with ourselves, having the autonomy to make the choices that we need to make, so that exercise supports us and doesn't deplete us, is a really important tool that we can use and start to practice that, coming back to ourselves, trusting that the decision that we're making is going to be okay, and having space within that for us to learn more about ourselves, learn where we could have pushed harder or if we had to back off a bit. And this is all the process of trusting that we can make the choices that are going to help us, but we need to practice it. And we need spaces that allow that to happen for us. And when we start to step up and make choices for ourselves based on the fact that we trust what our body and mind and soul is telling us, then we're more likely to do it in other spaces. And so if that is you and you're not sure how to start to trust yourself, maybe start a practice like this at the start of every day. Check in with yourself, make choices. Remember that you have the autonomy and the ability to make choices for yourself, and see how they feel in your body. We will talk about this another time. You can probably tell I'm really passionate about it. But remembering that we are able to trust ourselves, and our bodies do give us key indicators, and we are smart and we are talented and we do have the right to take up space and to be who we are, is really important. And so that is one activity you can do today. And I would love to know how it goes for you. And if you are struggling with trusting yourself or coming back to yourself, I would love to know if this is helpful. And if you want to come to one of our sessions to try it out, obviously feel free to do that. Reach out to me on email or head to our website. I would love to chat with you about this more. That is it for today's Mama Huddle. I will check in again next week. Bye.